The day the sun rose over Dubai with its usual golden pride, an unusual stillness clung to the palace corridors. Whispers floated like restless birds, sensing that something in the air weighed heavier than tradition. And at the center of it all stood Sheikh Hamdan, Fazza, the poet prince, whose crown glimmered like a symbol he no longer felt ready to carry. It was the day his crown felt heavier than his soul, the day responsibility pressed deeper than breath, carving shadows beneath his calm gaze. His heart, usually a sanctuary of courage and compassion, trembled quietly beneath layers of royal silence. Even the morning breeze, which often greeted him like an old friend, hesitated before touching his shoulders. He walked through the vast halls with steps that held the ache of unspoken stories. Every portrait of his ancestors seemed to watch him with unwavering expectations, as if reminding him of the lineage he was born to protect. Yet inside him, a storm churned, one that no title, no medal, no applause could calm. Outside, the night waited with its endless stars. He stepped into the open air with the quiet confidence of a man who had chosen honesty over comfort, destiny over silence, self over expectation. And for the first time in years, he breathed freely, knowing the kingdom would never forget the night Sheikh Hamdan spoke the truth that set his soul on fire. Dubai stretched outside the windows in majestic stillness, its skyline like a crown of glass and ambition. But today even the towers felt heavy, echoing the weight he carried. He wondered whether a man could be both a symbol and a soul, or whether one must always consume the other. The council awaited him, papers stacked, decisions lined up like soldiers prepared for battle. But Sheikh Hamdan's thoughts drifted to the people, the workers who built the city with tired hands, the families who prayed for their children's futures, the dreamers who looked to him with faith. That faith kept him standing, yet it was the very reason he felt his spirit sinking. He paused in the quiet garden outside the palace, a place that had always offered him refuge. The fountains murmured softly, and the flowers bowed as if sensing his burden. His crown, though made of metal and heritage, suddenly felt like a mountain pressing against the softest part of his being. A memory surfaced, his father's voice, calm yet commanding, reminding him that leadership was not about shining brightest but about carrying storms without letting the people feel a drop. But today, the storm inside him roared louder than his father's wisdom. He closed his eyes, letting the desert wind brush his face. It whispered truths that no advisor could speak, that even princes are human, that even heroes tire, that even those who lift nations sometimes need a shoulder to lean on. But he had none, not today. Still, the world expected him to rise, flawless and fearless. Cameras waited outside, screens blinked in anticipation, hearts across the nation looked toward him for answers. And even though he felt as fragile as a poem drifting in the wind, he knew he had to become the voice of strength again. He lifted his crown slowly, feeling every ounce of its symbolic weight. It wasn't just gold. It was the dreams of millions, the legacy of generations, the promise of a future carved from hope. And though his soul felt exhausted, there was a glow in his eyes, soft yet unbreakable. Stepping onto the balcony, he felt the warmth of his people's love rise to meet him like a tide. Their cheers were not demands but reminders. He was not carrying the nation alone. They were lifting him as much as he lifted them. In that moment, the crown no longer felt like a burden. It felt like a bond. A silent pact between a leader and his people, one forged not from duty, but from devotion. His spirit rose, reclaiming strength from the very hearts he served. And as the sun reached its peak, Sheikh Hamdan stood taller than his shadows, lighter than his doubts, brighter than the crown he wore. For the first time that day, his soul felt stronger than the weight of the world, and the evening sun dipped toward the horizon, painting the sky in strokes of amber and rose, and Sheikh Hamdan slipped quietly away from the balcony. His people had given him their strength, yet something deeper still tugged at his spirit, an inner voice urging him to confront the truth he had tried to outrun. As he walked through the palace garden once more, the shadows grew taller, stretching like silent witnesses to the battle inside him. He wandered toward the stables, where the scent of sand and warm air greeted him like an embrace from an older, simpler life. His favorite horse, with eyes that mirrored loyalty itself, nudged him gently as if asking why the prince's heart felt heavier than usual. He rested his forehead against the horse's mane, letting the softness absorb a pain he could not put into words. For a moment, he was not a leader, not a symbol, just a man searching for a breath that didn't hurt. As the desert wind whispered through the palm trees, Sheikh Hamdan finally allowed his fears to surface. Was he enough for the future his nation dreamed of? Could he protect both the land and the souls that depended on him? Could he remain strong while carrying wounds no one could see? The crown's weight had not disappeared, it had merely shifted, intertwining with questions that no destiny could answer for him. And in facing them, he realized the true battle was not against expectation, but against doubt. Night settled gently over Dubai, its lights sparkling like constellations that had fallen to earth. From the palace rooftop, he gazed at the city he had grown with, the city that trusted him more than he trusted himself. Each glow was a story, each building a heartbeat, each street a prayer he was responsible for. Yet instead of fear, he felt something else rise within him, clarity. Leadership was not a throne to sit on but a flame to carry, even when the wind tried to extinguish it. Some stared at him as though he had broken an ancient rule. Others stared at him as though witnessing history. And yet, behind their shock was something else, relief. Because for the first time, they glimpsed a leader who valued truth over tradition, soul over image. They saw a prince willing to sacrifice everything except his integrity. Minutes passed before anyone could breathe normally again. The advisors exchanged stunned glances, each wondering how this confession would ripple across the nation. His brothers felt protective fear, but also something deeper, admiration. Sheikh Hamdan had not just confessed the truth, he had detonated the chains that had bound generations before him. The silence after his final sentence was so heavy it felt like a wall collapsing. No one dared to speak first. No one knew how.